Hey, the New England Patriots, as I start down at that end of the table.
You all right? You cramping up over there?
You know what?
Hey,
Are
you cramping up for real?
Got a trainer! Yeah, get him in here and just work on that hamstring, right?
Sorry about that.
Drink some water, bro.
Goodness, oh my God.
Anyway, while Matt gets some attention from the trainer, let me pick up with the next topic here. Then Nate, that's real time occurring, right?
You know, we got.
Make sure y'all get the camera on.
No, the point is, we got older players. We got to have rotations.
Yeah. No doubt.
We got to give
I need a sub.
Sometimes
I need a sub.
You're good.
I need a sub.
You back? You good? You good?
I'm back.
Hey, get your old ass back on the table. Listen, how are you cramping up and you're not even doing anything?
Too much coffee. Too much coffee. You know, I'm caffeinated.
We'll just run the ball for a few minutes. You good now?
Man, I'm okay. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of old players, though, you mentioned Stephon Diggs with the New England Patriots.
Well, hold on, and you can pick it up from here. Their first winning streak through the first 5 games of the season since 2019. Take it away.
We haven't seen this type of energy since Brady was there. Let's just keep it real. It's been a while since the Patriots have been relevant. And I just go back to that Bills game. I know they got a win today, but that Bills game, for me, it really told me what this team could be. You know, when you look at Stephon Diggs and him being at this point in his career, an older guy, a lot more mature, these are his own words, coming off of an injury, people might be writing him off, saying, oh, it's Diggs on another team. He might have an impact here or there, but not really. Oh, boy, was I wrong? Were they wrong? Was everybody wrong who was doubting the type of impact he'll have? That type of energy that he brought against the Bills. Yeah. I'm sitting on my couch, and I'm yelling and screaming and all jacked up when he gets up and he's flexing at the camera, giving the first down signal. He made it feel like a playoff game. And if you're a veteran in a locker room with a team that has no idea what it feels like, not the coaching staff, we get it, Vrabel and a lot of those guys know what it's like.
Players.
But the players don't know what it's like to be in the playoffs. If you can make them believe we need to feel like this every single week, they're going to be dangerous.
And I think the win today was just as significant as the win
100%.
Against Buffalo, right?
Yes.
Because it's one thing to get up for that game, knowing you're going against Josh Allen, knowing you're going against the Buffalo Bills, knowing they have the whiteout, they've got all of this stuff. It's another thing to then return and go back down to New Orleans and deliver a winning performance.
Yes.
Drake Maye was excellent. His numbers in the second half, not quite as good as the first, but pushing the ball down the field. Right here, this is to Demario Douglas.
He's not afraid to let it go, man.
Yes, no, he's pushing the ball down the field. Here it is again. He's going to pump fake, slide, calm in the pocket, just a little flick. It looked a little like Matthew Stafford right there. Flicking that across his face, down the field with effortless power. And again, right here, Kayshon Boutte. Nate, you mentioned Stephon Diggs and the energy and the belief that he's created amongst that team and kind of setting the tone for other guys. That wide receiving core, a Kayshon Boutte, a Demario Douglas, those guys feeling that energy, starting to play with a little bit of cockiness, which I like. I want from my guys. A little bit of swagger when you're out there. I think you're starting to see that emerge. And that's what you hope. When you bring in a player like that, you hope that some of the best qualities that they have rub off on the guys around you. The other thing is Drake Maye. Drake Maye is playing really good football right now. And I think that has a lot to do with Josh McDaniels. And being there and the tutelage and putting him in good positions, understanding what he's expected to do. He looks like it's very clean for him mentally. He knows where he's supposed to be going with the football so he can be decisive and be accurate. And he's playing with a lot of freedom.
Yes.
Freedom, right? Those scrambles, the ability to see down the field, to flick it. He's playing with freedom.
He's trusting himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's trusting the system, and I think that's when you talk about acquisitions at times. We look at players, but I think you got to look at coaches, too. There's some guys, assistant coaches. Remember the last time that Josh McDaniel was there? His last quarterback in New England was Mac Jones. Mac Jones went to the Pro Bowl, and they went to the playoffs. He left to go on to become a head coach, and everything else went downhill in New England. So you talk about assistants at times that have tremendous impacts on their team because they have tremendous ability to be teachers to the players. And they can take them to the next level, to process information, to be able to process and manage your emotions, and know when is the time to be yourself and time to pull back on them. And so you kind of, it's like raising a kid, right? You want them to go out there and just go ahead and dabble in that, man. Dabble. But I'll pull you back. If you fall down, that's fine. Because part of life is falling down. Just get yourself back up. Quit feeling sorry for you. Rub it off. It's not a mistake. It's a lesson learned.
I told you not to touch the stove. I told you it was hot.
Well, I think it brings up a really interesting point, though, Coach, that you're kind of hitting on, is this difference between what the role of a head coach is and what the role of a coordinator is, right? We talked about Josh McDaniel as a head coach, but he's very different as a coordinator. His level of success as a coordinator. Speak to that. Speak to the difference in those two roles.
You know, you sit there and I just try to, what's a good analogy to talk about the difference of those responsibilities about being a coordinator and being a head coach? The coordinator paints a picture. You have to have flexibility in what you're doing from a standpoint of scheme. You have to have an ability to be a good teacher with the players. You have to have an ability to have adapt and adjust to what's in the best interest week to week. So you are in direct contact. The head coach is creating a composition because he has to see the big picture. He has to delegate more. He has to make sure he's got that group of coaches that understand what their responsibilities are and to manage that. You also have to be in a position to understand what the culture, the vision that you have to what you're trying to build. Is it the degree of toughness? Is it the degree of, I want to develop this passing game because this is who I have? But you also have to be able to manage your responsibilities. I think at times, at very few times, there's a lot of guys I think that can be a play caller and a head coach. I would just say to the first-time head coaches, sit back, delegate, have your hand in everything. Be able to put your hand, a dike in the hole. Be a part of that because you're the master of the ship.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and so you got to be able. That ship goes down. It should not go down in the hands of somebody else.
Oh.
So I said I want to be involved with that play calling on the offensive side of the ball. Our strength is defense. We're gonna have to run the ball. I'm gonna shut down the run at the point of the game. I want to make those decisions. I want to do. If I'm an offensive guy, defensively, I got to quit giving up the big play. I'll score the points. Just don't give up the big play. Understand where you are from a clock management standpoint. So again, it's creating the composition and seeing the big picture. And sometimes the coordinators are so locked into what they're doing series to series, you have to be able to see the end game. You have to be able to have this vision of how we can get to that fourth quarter, how we can give that game. And I go back to Mike Vrabel. What did he do this week after a big win in Buffalo? He was on them hard this week because you know what? It's a good head coach. It's like a seesaw. When they're up, you bring them down. If that means I have to kick them off the field and kick them off the field. But when they're down, you got to bring them up. You got to be sometimes the calm in the storm when everything is going awry in the course of a game. Well, let's settle down. Sometimes you have to be the storm.
Yeah.
And you have to get these guys. You feel like we're sleepwalking out here.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on, man? So I think it's being able to manage emotions, being able to stay focused on what you're doing. And if you can lead that way and be that way when you walk into that building each and every day, because everyone's watching how you respond to it, your team's going to take on your identity.
Yeah.
And you know what? Quit feeling sorry for yourself if you get beat up. And you know, if we win, don't take yourself too seriously. It's never as good as it seems. It's never as bad as it appears.
Well, I think about, too, the experience of having been a head coach and then coming back to be a coordinator. And I think of two guys specifically that are impacting young quarterbacks. Josh McDaniels in New England, done a great job this season with Drake Maye. But also Cliff Kingsbury in Washington, who had the experience of being a head coach, then comes back as a coordinator for Washington. I think this is really good for young quarterbacks specifically because these guys have been behind the scenes trying to be a head coach, build an organization, understanding all of the other things that are on the plate of the quarterback in that. And it's not just the X's and O's.
Right.
It's about making them feel confident, comfortable, understanding we're going to build this around them to try and put them in position to be successful. I truly believe that's why both those guys are having the success that they're having.
And then you got guys like Robert Saleh. I think Robert Saleh, give him a second chance. He came to New York Giants. I think there's a lot of things he had to deal with there, the New York Jets. A lot of things that were somewhat dysfunctional at times when he was there. I think you learn something through that experience and you come back the second time because you can see the kind of effect he's having on the San Francisco 49ers.
Absolutely.
I mean, the impact's been amazing.
Yeah, and I'll throw another guy in there who I had the privilege of playing under, Jim Schwartz. He was a head coach, first-time head coach with the Detroit Lions. And towards the end of it, it got bad. He got fired, and he was moving on to be a D coordinator. And there were people that were speaking ill on his name. They didn't think he had what it takes. And then all he's done since then he has made defenses dominant. And you think about some of the defenses.
Philadelphia.
Come on. And we're talking
Cleveland
about
right now.
Come on. He's taking guys that are good, talented, and turning them into absolute beasts on the field.
Brian Flores, give him another chance.
Yeah.
I was just about to mention Brian Flores and, of course, Steve Spagnuolo. You know, Coach Joe Gibbs, multiple Super Bowl titles to his credit when he was with the old Redskins, if you will. He made it a point that the head coach's job is immensely easier if he's got some talented coordinators because he, the head coach, is not teaching twice, teaching a new staff as well as teaching a good point. Hey, you know what? I close with this. Being a good teacher is having an example to work with so that people can understand. You talked about Pittsburgh and being healthy, and you've got older players that he's got to manage that through, he being Mike Tomlin. Was that a perfect example of our quarterback?
Yeah. You know what? Let's take a look at that because you know, we want to really give you an example of.
Look at He's trying to hang in.
Nate, we had it. Hey, take a series off there, Matt.
That's right. Load management. All right.
Get some bananas,
some load. I've been going
some pickle juice.
I've been going since 10 a.m. this morning. Load management on the boy.
No excuses.
That's it. No,
and the terminology that Coach Cowher used, take a series off, that's exactly right.
Try and act like folks, it wasn't the tequila.
Join us every Sunday on the NFL Today, 12 noon Eastern, right here on CBS.